We've all seen the movies. The rugged action hero, dangling from a helicopter, firing a massive sniper rifle with one hand, and taking out a bad guy 2 miles away without even looking through the scope. It's cool, it's flashy, and it is absolute garbage. Welcome to the real world of modern snipers, where pulling the trigger is literally the easiest part of the job. In reality, if a sniper is firing a gun while jumping through the air, something has gone horribly, terribly wrong. Today, we are shattering the Hollywood illusion. Modern sniping is not about being a lone wolf gunslinger. It's about being a heavily armed, incredibly patient mathematician who doesn't mind lying in their own filth for 3 days straight. To understand this, we need to completely erase the image of the solo assassin. In the modern military, snipers almost never work alone. They operate in highly specialized pairs, the sniper and the spotter. And here is the first major shocker. The guy pulling the trigger. He is usually the junior member of the team. The spotter is actually the senior, more experienced operator. The spotter is the brain, the calculator, and the tactical commander. The sniper is simply the biological trigger puller. It is a master-apprentice dynamic. But the master is the one with the binoculars, not the rifle, to get to the point where they can even see their target. This team has to undergo a grueling insertion process. They don't parachute onto a pristine rooftop. They are dropped miles away, navigating hostile territory, moving so slowly a snail would lose patience. This is called the stalk. Every broken twig, every unnatural shadow, every reflection of light could mean instant discovery. They aren't running and gunning. They are crawling inch by agonizing inch into the dirt. And once they finally reach their firing position, the real waiting begins. Arriving at the firing position is not the end. It is merely the beginning of the most uncomfortable camping trip of their lives. To stay completely hidden, sniper teams wear ghillie suits, heavy, incredibly hot garments covered in strips of burlap, jute, and local vegetation. In the Kurzgesagt universe, imagine a penguin trying to disguise itself as a very sweaty, heavily armed bush. A ghillie suit is not magic. It requires constant maintenance. Snipers must constantly weave fresh local grass and leaves into their suits to match the exact terrain they are in. But the physical discomfort goes far beyond wearing a wearable greenhouse. A sniper team might have to remain in one single spot, completely motionless, for up to 3 days. Let that sink in. 72 hours of not moving a muscle. This means dealing with freezing nights, sweltering heat waves, and swarms of biting insects that you are absolutely not allowed to swat away. And then there is the biological reality. Hollywood never shows the action hero going to the bathroom. In the real world, you cannot just stand up and walk behind a tree. Snipers use specialized bags and bottles, handling all bodily functions while lying flat on their stomachs, carefully burying the waist so the smell doesn't give away the position. It is profoundly unglamorous. Furthermore, they have to manage sleep deprivation. The sniper and spotter take turns sleeping in short, fragmented bursts, all while maintaining absolute noise discipline. A single sneeze or a coughing fit could compromise the entire mission. They have to control their breathing, their heart rate, and their mind. Boredom is actually one of their greatest enemies. Your brain is wired to lose focus when staring at the same empty patch of desert or ruined city street for hours on end. Maintaining intense visual focus while fighting exhaustion requires a level of mental conditioning that breaks most ordinary soldiers. They are essentially human security cameras, silently recording everything, waiting for that one fleeting window of opportunity. So, after days of crawling in the mud and holding their bladders, the target finally appears. In a video game, you just put the crosshairs on the enemy's head and click. In reality, doing that at long range guarantees a miss. A sniper rifle is not a laser pointer, it is a physics engine. The moment a bullet leaves the barrel, it is fighting a desperate, losing battle against the universe. First and foremost, gravity. Bullets do not fly in a straight line, they travel in a parabolic arc. If a sniper is shooting at a target 1.00 meters away, they might have to aim several meters above the target's head just so the bullet can drop into the right spot. But gravity is constant and predictable. The real nightmare is wind. Wind is the sniper's greatest adversary. A gentle breeze that you can barely feel on your face can push a bullet several feet off course over a long distance. And here is the worst part. Wind is almost never uniform. A bullet might cross 3 different valleys, each with its own wind speed and wind direction. The spotter has to read the environment, looking at how grass sways, how dust moves, or how heat waves shimmer, to calculate an average wind value. But wait, there is more. The spotter also has to account for air density. Cold air is denser than hot air, meaning it creates more drag on the bullet. High humidity and barometric pressure completely alter the bullet's flight path. A rifle zeroed at sea level on a hot day will shoot completely differently on a freezing mountaintop. The sniper team is basically solving a complex multivariable calculus problem in their heads, under extreme stress, while someone might be shooting back at them. It is applied physics with life or death consequences. If they miscalculate the wind speed by just a few miles per hour, that high-tech, expensive bullet will hit nothing but the dirt, instantly alerting the enemy to their exact location. If you thought wind and gravity were complicated, welcome to the weird world of extreme long-range ballistics, where we have to account for the fact that we live on a giant spinning rock. For shots exceeding 1.000 meters, snipers must factor in the Coriolis effect. Yes, the same physics principle that dictates how hurricanes spin. Because the Earth is rotating at about 1.00 miles per hour at the equator, the target is literally moving while the bullet is in the air. If you are shooting a very long distance, the Earth will rotate the target out of the bullet's path. If a sniper in the northern hemisphere shoots facing due north, the bullet will deflect to the right. If they shoot south, it still deflects to the right. The spotter has to calculate the sniper's exact latitude on the globe to correct for this. But the physics torture doesn't stop there. There is also something called spin drift. Sniper rifle barrels have spiral grooves inside them to make the bullet spin like a football, giving it stability. But this rapid spinning interacts with the air friction, causing the bullet to slowly drift in the direction of the spin. If the rifle twists to the right, the bullet will drift slightly to the right over a long distance. Then, you have aerodynamic jump, where crosswinds reacting with the spinning bullet actually cause it to shift slightly up or down, not just left or right. And finally, the angle of the shot matters. Shooting up a mountain or down into a valley completely changes how gravity affects the bullet's trajectory. You actually have to aim lower in both scenarios, which goes against all human intuition. So, to make a successful extreme range shot, the spotter is calculating gravity drop, multiple wind zones, temperature, humidity, barometric pressure, spin drift, aerodynamic jump, the angle of inclination, and the rotation of the Earth. All of this is done in seconds, whispered quietly into the ear of the shooter. It should be crystal clear by now why the spotter is the undisputed boss of the sniper team. The spotter doesn't just point out targets. They are the architectural mastermind of the shot, while the sniper is staring through a narrow scope with heavy tunnel vision. The spotter uses a high-powered spotting scope with a much wider field of view. The spotter is looking for the target, monitoring enemy movements, and acting as the team's security guard. They are also the master of reading, mirage. Have you ever looked down a hot asphalt road in the summer and seen the air shimmering? That is mirage. Spotters use the speed and angle of these heat waves to accurately determine wind speed at different distances along the bullet's path. It is an incredibly difficult skill that borders on a dark art. The communication between the two is a highly rehearsed, mechanical dialogue. The spotter gives the wind call and the elevation adjustments. The sniper dials these exact numbers into the turrets of their rifle scope. The spotter says, "Send it," or "Clear to fire." The sniper focuses entirely on their breathing, their trigger pull, and keeping the crosshairs dead steady. When the rifle fires, the recoil briefly throws the sniper off target. It is the spotter, watching through the powerful lens, who tracks the supersonic bullet's vapor trail through the air. If it is a miss, the spotter instantly calculates the correction, and feeds it to the sniper for a follow-up shot before the enemy can react. The spotter also carries an assault rifle to defend the team at close range if they are compromised. In short, the sniper is simply a highly precise biological tripod. Without the spotter's brain, the sniper is just a person with a heavy, cumbersome rifle making very loud guesses in the dark. Let's tackle another massive Hollywood myth, the silencer. In movies, a sniper screws a sleek black tube onto their rifle, pulls the trigger, and the gun makes a tiny, polite, pew sound, like a gentle sneeze. Nobody in the next room notices. This is pure fiction. In the military, they are called suppressors, and they do not make a high-powered rifle silent. A sniper rifle fires a bullet at supersonic speeds, meaning it travels faster than the speed of sound. Even if the suppressor masks the explosive expansion of gases at the muzzle, the bullet itself creates a miniature sonic boom as it rips through the air. It sounds like a loud, sharp whip crack. Suppressors are incredibly useful because they eliminate the bright muzzle flash and make it difficult for the enemy to pinpoint exactly where the shot came from. But they are absolutely not silent. Modern sniper teams also rely on a fascinating array of technology. Gone are the days of doing complex math on a notepad. Today's spotters use ruggedized ballistic computers and smartphones loaded with specialized software. They input the data from a handheld weather meter, which measures wind, temperature, and pressure, and the computer spits out the exact scope adjustments. They use thermal imaging and infrared optics to see human body heat through pitch-black darkness, fog, or light foliage. Nighttime is no longer a hiding place. Some modern scopes even have built-in laser rangefinders and digital displays that calculate the bullet drop automatically. However, technology can break. Batteries die. Screens crack. A true sniper team must still know how to do the math manually with a data book and a milled scope. Technology simply makes them faster, not immune to the laws of physics. While the math and physics are daunting, the heaviest burden a sniper carries is psychological. In a standard infantry firefight, combat is chaotic, noisy, and often impersonal. Soldiers shoot at distant shapes or muzzle flashes. A sniper's experience is completely different. Looking through a high-powered scope creates a bizarre, artificial intimacy. A sniper often observes their target for hours or even days before pulling the trigger. They watch the target eat, smoke a cigarette, or talk to their friends. They see the expressions on their face in crystal clear HD. And then, they are ordered to end that person's life. It is calculated, deliberate, and deeply personal. There is no fog of war to hide behind. After the shot, the spotter confirms the kill, meaning they must watch the gruesome reality of what a high-caliber bullet does to a human body. This level of intimate violence, combined with the extreme isolation of operating behind enemy lines, takes an immense psychological toll. Snipers must possess a unique ability to compartmentalize their emotions. They must view the target not as a human being, but strictly as a military objective. If they hesitate, or if they let empathy cloud their judgment, it could cost them their own lives or the lives of the soldiers they are protecting. The Hollywood image portrays snipers as cold-blooded, emotionless killing machines. In reality, they are highly disciplined professionals who must constantly manage the heavy moral and psychological weight of their specific role. The true test of a sniper isn't how well they can shoot. It's how well they can cope with the silence and the memories after the shooting stops. As we look to the future, the traditional role of the sniper is facing an existential threat. The drone. Why send two highly trained humans to crawl through the mud for 3 days when you can launch a small, cheap quadcopter with a high-definition camera and a thermal sensor? Drones have removed the element of stealth from the battlefield. In modern conflicts like in Eastern Europe, the sky is buzzing with mechanical eyes. A sniper's ghillie suit might hide him from human vision, but it cannot easily hide their body heat from a drone circling 1,000 feet above. If a sniper is spotted today, they aren't engaged by another sniper. They are immediately targeted by artillery or suicide drones. To survive, modern snipers are having to adapt, using thermal masking blankets and constantly moving after every single shot. At the same time, sniping technology itself is reaching sci-fi levels. Military agencies are testing EXACTO rounds, literally smart bullets that have tiny fins and optical sensors. These bullets can alter their flight path in midair to hit a moving target, effectively adjusting for wind and gravity on the fly. We are entering an era where computerized scopes will completely automate the math, and smart bullets will correct human error. Yet, despite all the drones and smart technology, the core of sniping remains unchanged. It is still about extreme patience, unparalleled discipline, and mastering the environment. Hollywood might prefer the flashy lone wolf, but the true modern sniper is a quiet, calculating professional, a master of physics hiding in the mud, proving that the deadliest weapon on the battlefield is still the human mind.